YBA, and things are changing on a daily basis around here. So want to keep you guys informed on what it is that we're trying to do, and we got some people that we're really going to help this year, because things are starting to fall into place. I'm getting pretty excited, and I want to share a little bit of that with you guys. And then on the other side of it, also, I wouldn't mind some accountability, both from you guys, and I want some accountability coming the other way, this way, here. So far, we are, 4 days? Let me see real quick. We are 3 days. 3 days into this new year. And what is it that we're doing? What we got? 365 days in the year. So you got 362 more to go to do something great with yourself. And I'm already 2 days back in the gym. I started yesterday and today, and I've gone ahead and I'm trying to make some dietary changes and stuff like that. However, the gym is not really new to me. I've been at the gym for a while. I just took about a 2-month break because best clipper, best trimmer, best shaver videos, trying to get those done before both Black Friday and Christmas. That's a big task. And I think part of the marketing strategy behind some of these companies doesn't make a lot of sense. Like specifically, Babyliss always seems to do this to me. They always release a machine like late November, maybe mid-December, and you can't even get a hold of one until like the day before Christmas or something. So that's, one of those things, man, when you want to add those to the best of videos and you don't have the machine, it really just puts a lot of pressure on you to try to find one and try to get some kind of an opinion out there. So the vibes are still high for sure, man. Flo Joy, what up, man? Good vibes here. Eric, appreciate you. Chevy Life, thank you. Good morning, man. So where I'm going today, the golf is going to be featured on the channel regularly, at least for a while. Eventually, it'll probably be its own separate channel. But for now, I'm thinking every Thursday we're probably going to release some type of giveaway content mixed with golfing. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out that previous video, I would love to hear some feedback, see if you guys liked it. In the future, I'm going to be playing against other players, other companies. Hopefully, before the shows, I'm going to try to find some other companies that, some people that own these companies and have them play golf against me. If I could beat them, maybe I can get y'all some free stuff. All right. So training day to reach one of my goals in 2024, and that's to get my handicap to a scratch handicap, which would mean, for those of you who don't golf, it would mean that I would be in the top 1% of golfers really in the entire world. They say someone like 80% of golfers can never even shoot 100. So, trying to get there is difficult. And some of you guys have some goals in your mind as far as what you're trying to do this year, and I want to hear them, man. I want to be connected to what that is. I want you guys to just go ahead and write them down, talk about them, tell me what you want to do, because if we could be accountable to our goals, then we have a much better chance of reaching them. Some of you guys have, maybe weight issues, maybe health issues, maybe your business is not firing. Maybe you're in a slump. I've warned you guys about the slump. The barber school slump is real, but the slump can be with anything. And I'm gonna tell you guys about one of my slumps in just a second here, a slump that I am currently in and trying to fight my way out of. And that is a real thing. You guys get involved in something like barber school, you got all this energy that you want to deliver towards it. You go to sleep thinking about it, you wake up thinking about it, and you burn yourself out. Once that happens, it's pretty easy to quit. And then you even start justifying quitting. You're like, I shouldn't do this anymore. This isn't for me. God, I look around the internet and these other barbers are better at this than me. Why would anybody come to me? I could never be as good as them. when you know the truth of all that is that's just a pack of lies, because you don't actually have to be good at this. You don't actually have to be good at this to have a good career in this. That's number one. You can have a better career, make more money, and have a much happier life if you make people feel good that come around you. You give people that deep personal connection that they don't get anywhere else. This is not rocket science. You get your clients talking about the things that they like. You be that shoulder for them to kind of release some of the world's stress too. How many people in this business have had a client kind of tell them something that they just couldn't tell to anybody else? Not even their own family, and especially not their wife. Just things that, you know, maybe they can't even bring up in their relationship. Maybe they're having some type of struggle and they can't even bring it up because they don't know how to do it. They don't know how it'd be received. So when you become that outlet, that person that they can come to and they can talk freely with, it really is, you know, just a wonderful feeling. And that doesn't mean that you have to be the most talented barber in the world. Yes, you got to provide people with a decent haircut. You got to give people, you know, at least that. But a lot of people don't give a shit about their haircut. I'm telling you now, there's a lot of guys that don't want to sit there for an hour and a half for you to get an Instagram picture out of that. They don't care. A lot of these guys just want to look decent enough so that they can be presentable. A lot of people do not care about their look as much as you guys care about making them look that way. So he said, the truth says 3 handicap here, Ed. Wish I could play as much as I used to. Tough to make it to the links. I try to get out once a week in the season, but it doesn't always happen. No, absolutely. The truth, man, my handicap right now is resting at a 3.4, I believe. And the difference between a 3 and a 0 is, it is quite a gap. It's quite a chasm. So I'm gonna tell you guys about this little slump that I'm in right now. And the next thing I wanted to mention to you guys is I'm actually on my way to get my irons fit. I'm on my way to do a little golf fitting right now, and getting my equipment just on point is really important to having a chance at doing this. I got to give myself every possible edge. And I don't think it's very different than when you're in the shop and your equipment is poor or poorly set up. And just like in golf, there's a lot of things that you can do to give yourself an advantage. In the barbershop, there's a lot of things you can do to give yourself an advantage. And a lot of people have different styles. Some people don't put a super harsh skin guideline in, right? So their machines might be set up differently. They might want to work with a taper blade. They might do a lot of clipper over comb, which would be another reason to have a taper blade. Or they might be somebody who puts in really harsh guidelines, like me. I'm never afraid to put a guideline in harsh because I know how to get them out. So I don't sweat that at all, because I have a machine set up correctly to remove even the harshest of skin lines. So when you have your stuff set up correctly in the barbershop, it's going to make your life easier to perform these haircuts. I have taught classes where one of them was actually in Goldwell, New York. I flew all the way to Rochester, New York to teach a class. There was like 25 people in the class. And one thing that I like to do is I like to have everybody get out their equipment. And we talk about that equipment before we even get started. Because if you don't have at least a basic understanding of how to set it up, if you don't have even a basic understanding of that, then you're not going to be able to do the techniques that I'm going to teach you. You're going to fall flat when you try to remove a guideline. You're probably not going to have a trimmer that's going to be your bailout when you can't get a line out. Or you're probably going to have some things that are just making your life a little difficult. And in fact, there was one girl, she pulls out her equipment. She had a body grooming clipper that she bought from Walmart. I'm not making this up. This is a true story. I picked it up. It did not have a lever on it. All it did was cut hair to about 3 zeros. And she came to attend my class. And I thought to myself, like, how could this be with all the information that's out there? But that's an extreme case of somebody whose setup wasn't correct. But there's a lot of people who don't know, like, the basics. Like, you need to have at least 2 trimmers. You need to have at least 2 clippers. And I've talked about this a lot, so I'm not gonna go super deep into it. So you know, when it comes to equipment, I feel like that is pretty important to make sure that you have your setup, you know, on point and correct. And I'm going to tell you guys my slump. All right, this is the slump. Hey, happy New Year's, Rusty. Thank you for joining, sir. So when you get into a slump like the one I'm in, I'm going to tell you guys about it right now. I have 700 and some odd videos on my channel. Many of these are tutorials. Many of them are reviews. And, you know, at first, that was very exciting for me to make. I know I'm making a difference, and I know I'm helping people. And for me, I know that that does satisfy me. And at heart, I feel like I am a teacher, because 10 years working at a barber school, I really do enjoy meeting people who are struggling and seeing them have that light bulb moment. That when that light bulb goes off and they start to understand things, that is something that I really enjoy. And I really like to be in the room with them when that happens. Being on the other end of a computer screen, developing content to help them is satisfying as well, but it is not as satisfying as standing in front of a student, seeing what they struggle with and actually helping them to overcome that struggle. That's what gets me. That's why I spent 10 years working at a barber school, making $20 an hour, when I would make more money in one day in the shop than I would make working, you know, 2 or 3 days at the barber school, because it fed my soul. It was something that I liked. I liked helping people out. I liked being a person that they could turn to with these struggles, because I remember my own struggles and I remember what it felt like to finally get over them. So when you get right down to it, I found myself in a slump here because I've created so much content around these things. I've made so many tutorials. I've made so many reviews. And, you know, when I sit down to do them at this point, I'm in a slump, y'all. I am in a slump. I'm going to find my way out of it. I have to find a way to make this more creative and make this more enjoyable. But when I edited that golf video, I sat down to edit and I finally got back into the zone. Like I was doing something I was passionate about again. Like all of a sudden it was fun. It was new. There was creativity involved. There was something like a mystery element to it. You know, how would I edit this? What would I do? What would I do there? You know, this is the style of video that I've always wanted to edit, and it feeds my soul. So when I get right down to it, you know, that's what I think is going to bring me out of this slump, is just doing things that feed me creatively. And I would encourage you guys to do the same. When you spend years doing the exact same thing over and over again, isn't that called like insanity or something like that? Where I'm just doing the exact same thing over and over again and I'm expecting a different result? Sure. Have I had some good videos that, you know, went somewhat viral? Yes, I have had that. And I've been appreciative towards those videos, but a lot of the videos I've done have not done, you know, super great. So I get back and I'm like, okay, what could I do different? I'm stuck in these 4 walls. I got reviews, tutorials, stuff like that, but I'm stuck in these 4 walls. But the walls were put there by me. I'm the one who thought that I couldn't make any other content. I'm the one who was always afraid to show who I actually am and what I actually love. I've never really showed anything about my personal side of things. And that kind of bothers me at this point, because I think to myself, like, all along I could have been doing that. All along I could have been doing that. So, you know, I think part of it is the workouts are definitely changing my brain again. I can feel the old creativity spike again. Just being back in the gym, even for just 2 days, mentally, I'm feeling great. The cold showers. Well, I'm telling you guys something. If you live in Florida where I do, it is it has been kind of cold these last few days. 55 degrees right now. That means that we're getting like really cold water in the pipes. I've been taking cold showers for years, and this is just something that really just clarifies the brain. I absolutely love, you know, the cold shower. And the way you do it, man, the way you do it's like overcoming a little challenge in the morning to me. That's pretty much what this is. But the way you do it, man, is you get up in the shower, you don't even turn it on, you don't want to get it started or nothing. You want to stand right there and let that cold water hit you and just breathe through it. And it's this weird little it's this weird little thing, this little challenge that you get over, and this little like charge that you feel for the rest of the day. It sort of changes the way you feel. It just gives you like a positivity spike. And you know, some of these things I had gotten away from but getting back to them, just getting into a place of just, you know, better health is going to lead to, you know, better mental clarity, better decision making, you know, better idea generations. Because me, I don't know if this is the same for you guys. Me, when I got an idea, when I know I'm going to go and execute on the idea, like I'll work like a dog. I will go all out until the idea has been executed fully. But sometimes the hardest thing I got is coming up with a new idea when I've done 700 videos around the same shit over and over and over again. How do I come up with a new idea in the same old space when I'm doing the exact same things over and over and over again? So I'm trying to pull myself up out of this slump, find ways to make the teaching entertaining and creative and fun. And for those of you guys who are members, I've lost count of the amount of videos I filmed that I wasn't able to post for you guys just yet. But I'm sitting on a mountain of stuff, and you guys are going to get a drop of some really good content that will be teaching. And that's what's got to happen. I gotta separate my life a little bit, and I gotta broaden my funnel and kind of enjoy what it is that I'm doing. So I'm gonna push. This golf thing is gonna happen. I'm gonna give YouTube probably like 6 more videos to see if it can find an audience for this. But you know, the biggest factor that YouTube cares about is watching the video in its entirety. From what I'm understanding from my YouTube coach, the like button, dropping comments, sharing the video, like all that stuff does a little bit for you, but it doesn't do much. Main thing is you got to get people to want to watch the whole way through. So the challenges, the fun stuff, the good vibes, that's what I'm trying to capture, because that feeds me. And there's going to be defeats, there's going to be, you know, some triumphs, and I'm hoping that maybe I can find some other barbers, licensed barbers, to play golf against. And if y'all can beat me, I will do something really nice for the subscribers. Somebody will be getting taken care of. The truth says, your golf channel can have potential to be super successful, man, for sure. Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. Because whenever somebody's in a slump, a kind word, a good friend, you know, somebody reaching out unexpectedly, like all these things can help pick you up out of it and have you feeling like, yo, let me tell you something, man. You guys are up in the morning, so you get it. But I was driving by here the other day. It's just so damn pretty. The whole sky was pink earlier. And I just thought to myself, like, thank God I'm on this early schedule and I get up in the morning and I can see these things. These pink skies, this beautiful winter mornings that's been going on here in Florida. It's awesome. It really is. And if you guys are not on the early schedule, you're on the later schedule, you might be missing some of that. But I've been on an early schedule now for about 2 or 3 months. I've been waking up at like 4 a.m. And I'm waking up and I'm kind of like just excited to jump on the next project, you know. And sometimes it's just finding that idea. Once I got the idea, bam, I'm gonna be in there, I'm gonna be grinding out, I'm gonna get it going, you know. And Rusty says, I totally agree with Truth. And that's the thing, man. If I could find some other licensed barbers who are into golf, I look at it this way. I love golf. I mean, I love it. I literally go to bed thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it. Every waking moment of spare time that I can find to help get better at this, I pretty much try to do it. Rolling putts in the house. I have a hitting bay in the garage. Like, I literally do everything that I can. So I felt like with that level of passion that I have for that, and the level of passion that I have for barbering, I feel like this could help me broaden up my funnel. Because like, I'm driving by some guy, right? He's walking. Good for him, man. Early morning, going for a walk, getting it in. Love that. If I went up to this guy and I said, dude, how many barber phone numbers do you have in your phone right now? Like, if I was to take your phone and go through it, how many of these people do you know that are barbers? What do you think this guy's gonna say? He's a random guy going for a walk at 8:30 in the morning on a chilly morning in Florida. And the answer is probably gonna be maybe 1, maybe 2, if we're lucky. So out of 300,000 licensed individuals that are in this country, and not all of them are practicing. I don't know how many of them are practicing. Roughly 12,000 people a year get licensed in the United States to cut hair. There's 130 million people. So we're going with this whole thing is that the niche is very, very small. It's a tight niche. A lot of us know a lot of the people who are in it, but it's a really, really small niche. But when you get right down to it, if I stopped this guy and I said, how many people in your phone play golf? I don't know what the answer is, but I would bet it's a whole lot more that play golf that are not barbers. So trying to find a way to fuse these two contents together has been something I've racked my brain over for like the last 2 months. Do I want to do it? Might I embarrass myself? This is a creative risk. Is it worth taking? Your entire audience is probably not ready for this. Like, all of these thoughts have been in my mind, but the domineering thought of all of them is I am being like everybody else if I don't do it. I'll tell you something that I've noticed. I'm like, how do I put this in the right way to not sound like I'm bragging? I have been doing YouTube for much longer than many of the people who are starting to do YouTube now. I'm an old guy in this game. I have something like 12 years on YouTube, posting videos and doing this. A lot of these guys that are coming out now, making channels, having some success and everything like that, like, I've already been through all that. And when I continue making the exact same stuff and I got all these other people behind me making the exact same stuff, I can't be in that box. I just got to do something original. I got to do something that's mine. I got to break out of this, the monotony of this. So that's the reason why I need my content to change. It's really that right there. I can't be like everybody else. I can't make the same things everybody else does. And I've noticed that a lot of barbers are afraid to criticize really any company. You know, a lot of people will come out there and they'll be like, all right, I'm going to do the best clippers of 2024. I like them all, guys. They're all good. But not a lot of people are willing to be like, you know what, man? This is just not good. And I have always been willing to do that. I've always been willing to just shoot straight from the hip and tell you exactly how I feel about these things. And it's just, at a certain point, like, I watch all the other content. I see people trying to do things the way I do them or the way I've done them, or they do it slightly different maybe, but essentially they're going to put themselves in the same position if they're not careful. They're going to wind up making that same piece of content over and over and over again for years and years and years, like I have. I wish I had started thinking like this a few years ago. If I could have been more of a visionary then, to say, you know what, I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to get up out of my comfort zone and I'm going to do this thing. So if you're sitting back and you're listening and you're wondering, how do I plug this into my own life? Maybe it is time for you guys to kind of consider, you know, doing something that you've been putting off, doing something that you love, doing something that you're passionate about. You know, I warned you guys many times on this channel, barbering is something that you do. It is a profession. It is something that we do for work. However, it is not. Some of you guys are mothers. Some of you guys are fathers. Some of you guys are, you know, brothers and sisters. And you know, some of these things that we do in life will have to take precedence over that at the end of the day. So, you know, don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself inside the box the way I did. Do not make your channel be the YouTube Barber Academy where you feel pigeonholed into the box. You know, if you're thinking of making a channel, do something that you can eventually break away from a little bit. You can show a little bit of who you are. You can have a little bit of fun and enjoy just being creative. Those are the things that you want to do in life, I think, at the end of the day. You have to do something that feeds your soul. And if you are not doing that, then you're going to wind up in the exact same boat. You're going to wind up in the exact same boat that I was in. We're driving down a road here, and I might wind up losing I might wind up losing a little bit of service here. This is actually a place I used to ride my dirt bike a lot, and that used to feed my soul too, man. So there's a lot of different ways to get this done, and we have a lot of challenges planned, and I have no idea how they're going to turn out, and I think that's kind of half of the fun. That's half of the fun. When I set out to film something and I don't know how it's going to turn out, There isn't such a rigid script. We will see, you know, triumph, we will see defeat, and we're gonna see, you know, exactly what happens in these. And I love watching challenge videos myself personally, because I like the journey of the challenge, the nature of the challenge, and I like to see, you know, what happens as a result of it. So, you know, when you get right down to it, that's it, man. Filthy AFC says, how do I get out of a depressive funk and feel like I have no confidence anymore? I think that we all go there, man. I think that that's a normal feeling to have. We all go there. We all get in that slump. And I think that trying to shake it up, trying to do things to step outside of your comfort zone, you know, maybe just traveling somewhere, maybe just, you know, looking into some new things, trying a new sport, you know, just really anything to shake up the monotony. Because I think part of the reason why we even feel, you know, pigeonholed or depressed or any of these things is because we just feel like it's Groundhog's Day. We feel like we're waking up and doing the same thing, going to bed and making no progress towards something. But if you could make measurable progress towards something, it makes you feel good. You know, as a man, you were supposed to be hunting. You were supposed to be a warrior. You were supposed to provide for your family. And a lot of these things are taken away from us in normal society. You know, we are not making war against each other anymore. We live in a very peaceful society. So, you know, all of the instinctual things that you are as a man, a lot of them are being suppressed. We don't fight. We don't hunt. We don't, you know, do some of these things. So some of the times, like, you know, the anxieties and all the weird stuff manifests itself in a weird way. It could just kind of come out. You could just start having, you know, anxiety or panic attacks and things for no reason at all. So I think it's so important for us to find things that feed us, whether it's going and playing, you know, going and playing sport once a week, just breaking out and doing something competitive. I think that's something that's really important to me. And I would say for me, just personally speaking, if you guys had seen the video, there was a moment in the video where I'm walking up on the tee box, the sun was setting, it was just beautiful. And I reminded myself right then and there that I'm happy to be alive and I'm happy to have this moment. I'm happy to just be out here doing something different. And I'm not thinking of the stresses of the world. I'm not thinking of anything, really. I'm just being present and enjoying this moment. And that's the beauty of what golf is for me. But for you, it might be something else. And there's definitely been moments when I'm cutting hair that I feel the same way. You know, I'm cutting hair. One of my favorite instances that ever happens to me when I cut hair. I really like to help young men who are going into high school or who are just into high school. They lack self-confidence. They don't know what type of haircut they want. They come into the shop almost like nervous because a lot of them have never even been in a real barbershop. A lot of them have been going to like supercuts style places where you're just a number and they just run through you. Now they're in this place here and I'm asking them about, you know, how do you want to wear it? What do you want to do? And when you can instill confidence in another person, when you can help lift them up when they're feeling something like that, there is no greater feeling in the barbershop than I've ever felt. You know, just being somebody who has went through all those things and, you know, came out on top of it. I warn these young kids, man. I'm like, look, a lot of these people that you hang out with, a lot of the people that you look up to, a lot of the people that are in high school doing stupid things, at the end of the day, a lot of them are going to be losers. A lot of them are never going to have any dollars in their pocket. A lot of the things that you're going through right now are not going to matter to you in really the blink of an eye. High school will pass you through in the blink of an eye. And afterwards, all the parties, all the drugs, all the things that you were looking up to, the people who did all those things, they're nothing. They're going to be meaningless. And you know what is cool? All that stuff, avoiding all that stuff, not having drug dependency problems, not having, you know, anxiety because you were taking drugs or all these other things, and actually having a good future for yourself. And you know what's cool is when your family or your kids need you, being in their life, and when they need to buy something, actually having the money to pay for it. That's what's cool. That's something that, you know, will give you real gratification in the long run in life. So all these other little temporary short-term things that we deal with, it's just temporary. It's just transitory. So don't even sweat it. And that's the big thing that I feel like with these kids, man. That's something that really fills me with joy. That's that instance in the barbershop that I feel that way. You know, I couldn't tell you another time in the barbershop that is as satisfying as that. Putting out good haircuts, doing good tutorials, speaking well on camera. Like, sure, all of these things are great, and they fill me with some joy. But reaching another person and helping them, nothing fills me with joy more than that in my life. And it's not even about money. So I think to get back to your question, AFC, is I think you might want to consider defining what it is to you that brings you the most joy in your life. I mean, really, just sit down and this is one of the things I did with my YouTube coach was, you know, let's iron out what it is that you actually want to do with your life. And when I sat down and I really thought about it, that's when I realized, like, I'm a teacher at heart. I'm a person who wants to help people at heart. That's what I am. That's what brings me joy, and that's what I will be. So when you get right down to it, it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to figure out what you want to do in life when you don't know that. So I would just encourage you to go ahead and literally write it out with a pencil or a pen and figure out exactly what brings you the most joy in life. And if you had to make a mission statement, if you were a company, you were a CEO, what is your mission statement? Like, what are you really trying to do with your life? What is going to bring your life meaning and purpose? If you were gone tomorrow, who would know? Who would care? Sometimes I think about that stuff, like, what will be my mark on the world? Will I be just somebody who came out, talked a bunch of trash online, and disappeared, and no one ever remembered a single thing I did? Or will I be somebody who came out and figured out something and brought something good to the world? And when I'm said and gone, hopefully some of the programs that I start and things that I do, hopefully they live on. Hopefully they live on to help other people. Because that's just one of those real deep talk things, man. When you think about it, is what it is you really want to do with life, and you start to define it, then it gets a little bit easier. You're like, okay, I know I want to help people. How am I best suited to do that? And in my case, I am best suited to help people learn a new career. I know there's somebody working. I'm driving by a trailer park right now. Somebody's living in this trailer park. Somebody's working a job they probably hate. Somebody's waking up miserable because they don't want to go to that job. And I bet a lot of these people in this park right here that I'm driving by, I bet a lot of these people had never even considered barbering as an option. And for me, I think that's sad. I think the trade gap is a bullshit deal. I think a lot of people get pushed into going to college that have no business going to college. I think a lot of people get pressured by their family and external sources to go and do these things. Don't get me wrong, man. If you have a career in mind and you got to go to college to obtain that career, go. You should. You should definitely do that. But if you have no clue what you want to do with your life and you're going to go get just ensconced in debt with these colleges and you're never going to be able to discharge this debt through bankruptcy or otherwise, you're going to wind up having a bunch of debt, no career, and even if you finish college, you're probably still not going to make the money you could have made in a trade like barbering. So, I feel like out of all the ways that I'm suited to help people, spreading the word on that is really, really important to me. It's really one of these things where I'm just like, how could these people not know of this? Like, how could people wake up and go work at Burger King every day when they're 25 years old? When literally in 6 months, they could go get a barber license and they could actually be doing a job that not only provides for their family, but it gives them, it fills them with joy. It fills them with joy. So that's really, the best way that I can help people, and I know that. So hopefully I can find other ways to help people, paying off barber tuitions and things like that. That's really high up on my list, and that is going to happen. And being that probably not many people who are watching this that are not live are not going to know about it, it's fine for me to tell you this. We have some money, and we will be making some of that content happen once again. So the Barber Tuition Initiative has been kind of revived thanks to the help of some of the companies that have supported me along the way. And when the time is right, I'm going to tell you guys the whole story as far as everything that just happened recently. But some really good things that are going to help a lot of people have just happened. So I'm really excited to share all of those things with you. But I just can't open up about all that just yet. So sit back and think about what it is that, you know, what it is that drives you. What could you do? What could you do to help people? What is your life's mission if it is not helping people? You know, whatever the answers are to your questions, I don't know. That's for you to decide. But literally just getting a pen and paper out like I did and going through it, I feel like that was pretty beneficial. That was pretty beneficial for sure. So he said, thank you for your advice, man. I really appreciate it. God bless you, man. You definitely just helped me. I appreciate you saying that, man. I appreciate you saying that because I think that a lot of us, especially influencers and people who are out here, a lot of us don't really open up about our own struggles. All you ever see is the highlights of people's lives. And, you know, it's all great to have a highlight reel for your life, but like at the end of the day, that's not relatable. That's not even true what you really went through. Like, tell people about the struggles that you're going through. You know what I mean? And I think that's more relatable in the end. And that's why I wanted my content to change a little bit. That's why I wanted to talk about some of the stuff, because I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want you to just come to my page and see a bunch of great haircuts and how great life is for me all the time. Like, nah, man, life is real. Life is hard. And there's times where you're just going to struggle with shit. And that's just what it is. So I think it's time that we all start getting a little bit more, you know, truthful about this whole thing. And we all start kind of coming together and helping each other out. But with that being said, I'm currently at the place where I'm going to be getting my golf clubs fit. And I really do appreciate you guys all for hanging out with me this beautiful morning. I hope that your day continues to get better. And, you know, we will be coming at you soon with some other content. So until then, this is the YBA, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace, y'all.